What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today doing a Red Dragon Archfiend deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck can summon out some of the coolest synchro monsters in the entire game, like your Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, and can even summon out Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity during the opponent's turn to turn their entire turn off, which is absolutely insane. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like your name scripture single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron, along with test stands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Crimson Resonator, which is basically like the Cyber Dragon of the deck. With the ability, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if the only other monster you control is exactly one Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon to 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or deck, except another copy of this card. And you can only use each effect of this card once per turn, and you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except Dark Dragon Synchro monsters the turn you activate either of this card's effects. Which is not that big of a deal because we only have one card in the entire extra deck that's not a Dark Dragon Synchro monster, which is really amazing about this deck. So basically it doesn't really bother us at all, but this card is really insane to help you synchro climb into some extremely powerful dragon monsters while also not wasting your normal summon, which is really good. We're then playing 3 copies of Red Resonator. Red Resonator is a great 3 of in the deck because when it's normal summon, it lets you special summon an additional level 4 or lower monster from your hand, which can help you go into all sorts of insane plays like your copy of Needle Fiber in the extra deck, which will get you another tuner on your side of the field. It can even help you go in for your copy of Red Riser Dragon to help you start climbing through your dragon monsters to get some absolutely massive monsters on the field. It also has a really good effect that when this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up monster on the field and gain life points equal to that card's attack, and you can only use each effect of this card once per turn. It's a really good effect to help you just gain some life points off the effect of being able to target a monster on the field, and you're usually going to target the monster with the highest attack on the field to gain a bunch of life points. We then play 2 copies of Synchron Resonator. Synchron Resonator is a good 2 to 3 of in this build, but I've cut it down to 2 in this particular build because I'm playing some other tech cards. But if a synchro monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only use effect this card once per turn. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a Resonator monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand to be able to reuse cards like your copy of Crimson Resonator, Red Resonator, or any of your other monsters that you need. I'm then playing a single copy of Creation Resonator. Creation Resonator is a really good one-of to help us synchro climb because it has a simple effect that if you control a face-up level 8 or higher synchro monster, you can just special summon this card from your hand. I'm then playing a single copy of Chain Resonator. Chain Resonator is a good one-of as well to have another level 1 Resonator in the deck to help you go in for some cards like your Supernova Dragon, but this card has the ability that when this card is normal summoned while a synchro monster is on the field, you can special summon a Resonator monster from your deck, except another copy of this card, which can help you go in for all sorts of really good plays that require more than one tuner monster. I'm then playing 3 copies of Wandering King Wildwind. Wandering King Wildwind is a really good 3 of in this build because if you control a fiend type monster that's a tuner with 1500 or less attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if you attempt this, you can't special monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except synchro monsters, which is not that big of a deal because pretty much all we're summoning from the extra deck anyways, except for one card, are synchro monsters. So this card comes in handy in the deck to be able to just special summon itself to your side of the field, which is absolutely insane. And during your main phase, except turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the grave to add a fiend type tuner with 15 or less attack from your deck to your hand, which is any of your Resonator monsters, which is really cool. We're then playing 3 copies of Witch of the Black Forest. Witch of the Black Forest is a great card to summon to your side of the field off your copy of your Red Resonator because it will go off as soon as it touches the graveyard, because if this card is sent from the field to the grave, you get to add a monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand, but you cannot activate cards or effects of cards with the same name for the rest of the turn, which is not that big of a deal because you're just setting up for following turns, which is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Skullmeister. Skullmeister is a really good hand trap, but also a really good level 4 monster that you can summon to your side of the field to help you synchro climb, and it's a fantastic hand trap because when a card effect is activated in your opponent's grave, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the grave to negate that card's effects, which is really handy in this deck. We're then playing a small Assault Mode package in the deck. I'm playing 3 copies of Psy Reflector. This is to help me synchro climb into some really powerful cards, but if you normally special summon this card, then you can add an Assault Mode Activate or one card that specifically lists Assault Mode Activate in its text from your deck to your hand, which is a awesome effect to be able to add your copy of Assault Beast from your deck to your hand, and then discard it to add Assault Mode Activate to then be able to use this card's other effect that you reveal Assault Mode Activate in your hand and then target a monster in your graveyard that specifically lists Assault Mode Activate in its text, except another copy of Psy Reflector, and special summon it to your field, and then increase its level by 1 to 4, and you can only use each effect this card once per turn. The card you're always going to be adding from deck to hand is your one of Assault Beast that you play in this deck, because then you can then discard this card to the grave and set up the other effect of Psy Reflector while also getting Assault Mode Activate to your hand, then using Assault or your copy of Psy Reflector's ability to bring this card back and increase its level by 3 to make it a level 7 to help you climb into a level 8 Synchro Monster, which is really, really cool. I'm then playing a single copy of Plague Spreader Zombie. This is what I usually summon off the copy of Needle Fiber to help me go for Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity during the opponent's turn, which is really easy to do by just summoning out your copy of Needle Fiber, summoning this off the Needle Fiber, and having a level 8 Synchro Monster on your side of the field, because you can tag out your copy of Needle Fiber into a copy of Formula Synchron, draw a card, and then make King Calamity during the opponent's turn, which is really insane. I then play for the last 3 monsters. We're going to be playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom just to make sure we're stopping the opponent from touching the deck, which is just really good in this deck because Ash Blossom is hands down the best hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Monster Reborn. This is basically just here to extend our plays. This card is really good in the deck to be able to bring back some of our really big synchro monsters that we have that we're going to synchro climb with. To be able to bring back cards like Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend is just really, really good in this deck. Playing a single copy of 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is absolutely insane in the deck to help bring out your copy of Psy Reflector to your side of the field by just sending any monster from your hand to the graveyard, which is a really good effect. I'm then playing a single copy of Call by the Grave just to make sure we don't get hand trapped while we're going in for all of our really big synchro monsters. 2 copies of Resonator Command. Resonator Command is a really good card to help us get our Fiend monsters to our hand, because you can discard a Resonator monster to add a level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand, like your copy of Skullmeister, or even one of your other monsters like Wandering King Wildwind, which is a really good effect to be able to grab those cards from the deck. I'm then playing 3 copies of Resonator Call. Resonator Call can add any Resonator monster from our deck to our hand, which is a really good effect because it helps us play through more with the deck to be able to add cards like Crimson Resonator or Red Resonator directly from our deck to our hand, or even Creation in certain situations. I'm then playing 3 copies of Emergency Teleport. Emergency Teleport is just really, really good in the deck because it helps you bring out your Psy Reflector without wasting your normal summon. And what you usually want to open up with to make Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity during the opponent's turn is this Red Resonator and any other tuner monster that you can summon, or any other monster you can summon to the field off the effect of the Red Resonator, which is absolutely insane and super easy to pull off, which is really nice. So that's it for the spell cards, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 2, and that's going to be a single copy of Assault Mode Activate. For the Assault Mode package, you're just using this to reveal it in your hand to be able to use Psy Reflector's effect to be able to bring back your copy of Assault Beast back from the grave and increase its level. We're then playing a single copy of Red Rain. Red Rain is a really interesting card and absolutely insane in this deck, and the only other trap I'm playing in the deck. And it has the ability to control a level 8 or higher Synchro monster, which we always will in this deck. You can banish all monsters on the field except the monsters with the highest level. Also, the remaining face-up monsters on the field are unaffected by other card effects except their own until the end of this turn. And if a Dark Dragon Synchro monster is synchro summoned to your field while this card's in the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand, being able to use this card over and over again, which is really, really insane. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Starlight Red Dragon Archfiend. 2 is totally fine in this deck because we're playing other level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro monsters in the extra deck, but this card is an absolutely insane boss monster on its own because this card's name becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while on the field or in the graveyard, and it can actually board wipe the field, which is really cool because once per turn, you can destroy as many other monsters on the field that are special summoned effect monsters on the field as possible with attack less than or equal to this card other than this card, and then inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed, which is an absolutely insane effect to destroy as many special effect monsters on the field as possible. That's really insane to just be able to go in for an OTK. And then playing a single copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. This card is absolutely insane and broken. This card has the ability that just takes 2 tuner monsters plus a Dark Dragon Synchro monster to summon this card, which is really easy to make this card with your copy of Formula Synchron, Plague Spreader Zombie, or any other level 2 tuner monster, plus a copy of a level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro monster, which is easy to establish by just summoning out your copy of Needle Fiber to your side of the field and already having a level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro monster on the field, which is super easy to pull off. But this card is really insane because when this card is synchro summoned, you can activate this effect for the rest of the turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards, and also your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. They cannot activate basically anything, and it turns their entire turn off. And your opponent cannot activate cards in response to this card's effect, making this card a speed spell for Cold Wave, which is really, really good. And if this card destroys a monster at battle and inflicts damage to your opponent, then you can inflict damage equal to the original attack of the monster destroyed, which is really, really good just to do a little bit extra burn damage. And if this card in its owner's control or is destroyed by an opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, then you can target one level 8 or lower Dark Dragon Synchro monster in the grave and special summon it back to the field. But the main effect is once this card hits the field, you pretty much won the game if you summon it during the opponent's turn, because you're turning their entire turn off while also giving you a 4,000 attack point monster to go in during the next turn to attack directly and end the game with your other Dark Dragon Synchro monsters. We're then playing a single copy of Red Supernova Dragon. This card is also absolutely insane to summon in the field. It does require 3 tuner monsters, but there's easy combos in the deck to be able to summon this card off to your side of the field. But it also has the ability it must first be synchro summoned against 500 attack for each tuner monster in the graveyard, and it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And then once per turn, when your opponent's monster effect is activated, or when your opponent's monster declares an attack, quick effect, you can activate this effect that you banish this card and also banish all cards your opponent controls. And then once per turn, during your next end phase, after this card is banished by its own effect, you special summon this card back to the field, but it will automatically come out because you're using 3 tuners at 5,500. That is absolutely insane and a massive monster. We're then playing a single copy of Tyrant Red Dragon Archfiend. You only need a single copy of this card, but it's a really good one-of to help you go in for all sorts of different plays, and it's just a really good boss monster because during the main phase, you can destroy all the cards on the field, and also for the rest of the turn, other monsters you control cannot attack, but that's totally fine because we're attacking with a 3,500 attack point dragon monster. We're then playing a single copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. Bane is a good one-of in the deck. I feel like 1 to 2 copies of this card is fine, but since I'm playing the copy of Needle Fiber, I did drop this card down to 1. It's pretty easy to make because it just takes a tuner plus a non-tuner Dark Dragon Synchro monster to summon, but it does come out a lot in the deck because it helps you climb into other cards, because you can tribute a monster and then target a Red Dragon Archfiend monster in your graveyard and special summon it back to the field, which is really cool because if you can put any other monster on the field with it, it can just revive back the copy of Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend that you used to summon this card, which is a great effect. And when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon out 2 tuner monsters with the same level, 1 from your deck and 1 from your graveyard in defense position, and you only use effect this card once per turn to help you synchro climb even further into other monsters. We're then playing a single copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Abyss is a good one-of to help you as a Omni Negate in the deck, which is just really, really good. 1 copy of Void Ogre Dragon. If you don't have any cards in your hand, you can negate a spell or trap once per turn, which is really, really awesome. 1 copy of Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler is a card you're going to be summoning out all the time in this deck because it's the card that I usually put on the field to summon out my copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, because this card can actually bring itself back to the field, and when you synchro summon, you get to excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and then add among those cards a light or dark monster to your hand, and send the other 4 cards to the graveyard, which is a really good effect to be able to get cards in the grave. But this card is a really good one-of, because when it's in the grave, you can banish a light and a dark monster to bring it back to the field, which is really an awesome effect. We're then playing a single copy of Ancient Pixie Dragon. Ancient Pixie Dragon is here because just in case your opponent's playing field spells, and just in case you can actually make a level 7 Dark Dragon Synchro monster, it's here just in case you need it. We're then playing 3 copies of Red Riser Dragon. Red Rising Dragon is a really insane card and a really good starter for the deck because you're going to normal summon out your copy of Crimson Resonator, bring another copy, or not normal summon, but normal summon out your copy of Red Resonator, and then bring a level 4 out to the field, make this card, and then this card will actually bring back the copy of Red Resonator to the field, which is a really good effect. Then you can target this card and gain 2100 life points, and then Synchro Summon into Starlight, which is an insane effect. But this card has the ability, when it's Synchro Summon, you can target a Resonator monster in your graveyard and special summon it, which is a really good effect to help you climb into a level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro monster. When then playing a single copy of Formula Synchron, it lets you draw a card and Synchro Summon during the opponent's turn, which is a absolutely insane effect. And then finally, a single copy of Needle Fiber, which is how we're going to be summoning out the copy of Formula Synchron all the time. But you have to be a little bit careful in this deck because you do get locked into Dark Dragon Synchro monsters a little bit, so you have to watch out when you summon out your copy of Needle Fiber that you don't lock yourself in. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to be able to play. I really hope you guys give this deck a try because it's absolutely insane to be able to lock down your opponent with that card, and it's just super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Red Dragon Archfiend, I definitely recommend it because it's actually not that crazy to be able to pick up, and it's just a really fun deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next videos. See you later, guys.